Alright guys, so welcome to today's giveaway tutorial, and in today's video we will work on a Titan shifter. Okay, so you have probably seen the last giveaway episode about the Titan shifter, and we'll probably continue that project. So current Titan shifter only consists of you turning into the Titan, but there are no attacks yet, and we can also work on other Titans as well, so there's still some content which we can cover up, okay, in the future videos. And yeah, so let's just create a Titan for today, Titan shifter. And what we'll need is that you have to do plugins, build a rig, and create a block rig, okay? Because what we'll do now is that we will go into Blender to model the knife model, which is going to cut your hand so that you're able to turn to the Titan. But also, we will import the head, the Roblox head right here, the head model, inside of Blender as well, because, you know, the Titans, they have some individual head. They basically have a pretty unique mouth, and we'll try to recreate that and use that on our Titan. So we are going to make things cool in today's video. So I'm not going to show you any random ass Titan shift as other guys do. We are going to have some quality in here, and we are also going to go through how I have done. I'm not someone who just skims Roblox, the Roblox toolbox, till he's able to find something usable. Okay, I do original stuff. I create my content by myself, so always count on that. So just right click on the head, or I would also just move out the head and just delete everything inside except for the mesh. Okay, now right click and export selection, and well, just export this into any folder you have hopefully created so far. If not, then go ahead and create one. Okay, there we go. So that's actually it for Roblox Studio for now. We will now go into Blender and just continue our work in Blender right here, okay? So just one more thing about Blender. Many people keep asking me how Blender works, and that they are not able to exactly replicate what I'm doing in Blender. So I have this plugin right here enabled, as you can see in the left bottom corner. Basically shows that my middle mouse has now been used for 8 times. Also, when I hit any key, you can see that, okay? You can see my key inputs. And I hope that this is going to help you, because I'm not going to create a whole tutorial on Blender. Yeah. I really expect you to have some Blender knowledge, some basic knowledge in order to continue with this video. If you do not have any knowledge, then I have this plugin right here enabled so that you're able to see what I'm doing. But that's not helpful as well, then I highly recommend you to get familiar with Blender first of all before you continue with this video. Okay, so let me just import this model. So you go to File, Import, OBJ, and then you'd select the head file which you have just exported from Roblox Studio. There we go. As you can see, the head is right here, so we're not going to move this manually, but we are going to hit spacebar, then type in set origin, and we are going to set this geometry, which is over here, to its origin, which is right here. There we go. So we have now imported the head, and we'll now, work on the mouth right here and also create some nodes. So we're going to add some detail to this head. And what I would like to do is that I'm going to speed up the video at that point till we have finished this head, and then I'm going to come back with talking. And while this video is sped up, you're able to see my input still. So hope that there is no problem with that. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit difficult because we're going to cut out some part of this head. So, you know, you have the mouth of this Titan, which is a room for itself inside of here, and we have to cut that part out. So let me just quickly go through that, because I don't want to cover this up while being split up the video. So create a circle, okay, and give it a certain size right here. So just give it a certain shape so that it looks like a mouth. Yeah, something like that maybe. Then make sure at the end right here has a face, so that there is its face right here, okay, so that you're not able to just look through it. And yeah, so that's it. So now go to modifier, add this boolean modifier, and as object add the head. Wait, no, wait, that was totally wrong. Go to the head and then add that boolean modifier, and then add this, yeah, circle we have just created, and that's it. Now we can get rid of the circle. Oh, wait. Yeah, apply. Then you can get rid of the circle. And as you can see, we have this kind of mouth right here. And we're now able to create some teeth all around this. And that's basically what our Titan is going to have. Okay. Alright, so here we go. So this is our Titan head model. So we have created some teeth right here. Apply the mirror modifier, apply the edge split modifier, apply the edge split modifier on this tongue as well. And we have created a nose. Looks a little bit weird, but okay. And we have created some eyes, okay? So now we have to export this thing. And what I prefer to do is to export the stuff single by single, means we we delete every component except for one, which we are going to export. So let's start with the head. So select everything which is not the head and delete it. And now export this thing wavefront OBJ. After that, Control and Z so that you receive back everything. And then do the same for another part which is not the head. Yeah, maybe the teeth or the tongue, and then, you know, go back to File, Export OBJ, and then do that as well. Now repeat that step over and over again till you have exported every single part. Alright, so now let's delete everything, after we have exported, of course. And now let's create a knife model. And then we are going to go over to ROBLOX Studio, in which we import everything we have created, and then yeah, start with the scripting process, okay? So I'm gonna this thing enabled, and then I'm just gonna continue building, okay? So let's go. Okay, so that's it for our knife model. Export it the same way as we have exported the Titan head, and yeah, do that. Now, back in ROBLOX Studio, wait, let's import everything we have created so far. So import or insert many mesh parts, because we'll need those. It's gonna duplicate some. Now let's start off with the knife, because the knife only consists of 2 parts. So go over to Mesh ID and then click that folder button. Then just go into the folder in which you have exported everything. And then just select the stuff and import it, guys. Here we go. So this is our plate. Import the handle as well. Now, let's give it a color. There we go. So this is our knife model. It is pretty basic, but, well, it's okay, I guess. Now, wait. Knife. Plate. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Let's move these mesh parts right here, and let's start inserting the head. So this is our head. We can actually get rid of the other mesh parts, since we can just duplicate and re-import. Start off with the eyes. Let's actually put a skin color right here. Let's make the eyes neon white. Make sure that double-sided is on when that happens. So as you can see, the face orientation of the eyes were not right. So just enable double-sided as property to make sure that the face orientation is correct. Support the Titan nose, just move it in front. Let's import the teeth. Let's make sure that it's all white as well. Make sure that double-sided is checked, because there were also issues with face orientation with this one. Now let's import the tongue as the last part. Let's put it right here. And there we go. So this is our head model. Now, call this one head and rename every other part, because as for now they're just called mesh part, and just move them inside of the head. One last thing you want to do as well, make sure that those components are not anchored and can't collide as faults. Make sure that the heads can collide as faults, and make sure that the knives can collide as faults as well. Make sure that they are unanchored, but they should be right from the start. And yeah, so this is our Titan head. Looks pretty sick, to be honest. So maybe some hair is missing at that point, but well, that's up to you. Now, let's insert a weld constraint, because the weld constraint at the end is the instance which keeps the eyes, the nose, the teeth, and the tongue together with the head. If you do not import this weld constraint and apply it onto those parts, then the head will just fall apart. That's important to know. And the part 0 of this weld constraint is always the head, okay? Means the head is like the origin part, the bigger part on which you attach something onto. That's basically what port 0 expresses. Now port 1 is the port you are attaching onto something. In this case, the eyes are attached to the head. Okay? Now duplicate this and redo everything for the nose. So port 1 nose. Duplicate it once again, redo it for the teeth, and duplicate it once again and redo it for the tongue. That's it. There's nothing more into it. Now let's import this weld constraint instead of the knife. And the same thing right here. So the blade is attached to the handle. Therefore port 0 is our knife, aka the handle. This part called knife is basically the handle. And port 1 becomes our blade. And that's it, guys. Now we can continue with the scripting. And just one quick note. So I'm currently recording this at 5 a.m. I have to get ready for school. I'm going to continue on this video in a few hours when I'm back from school, guys. But you'll literally see no difference. Maybe just the voice, because I just woke up. But let's see ourselves in a few hours. I'm just gonna pause the video at that point, and then I'm just gonna continue when I'm back. All right. All right, guys. So okay, let's continue with yeah, this Titan shifter right here. So it's now after school. We have 9 p.m. currently, so in my country, and I will now continue with this thing. So let's create this tool. Let's call it Titan shifter. Now let's add a local script inside of it. And let's add a remote event inside of it. And let's add a basic script inside of it. Okay, let's call this one Titan remote. Let's call this one Titan server. Let's call this one Titan, well, client. Titan client, there we go. Now, come on. So, inside of that Titan client script, wait, let me just get rid of these, because, yeah, they're from the previous giveaway. So, let's go inside of here. And let's define a tool so that we do not have to write script.parent always, but we can just write tool and then we are like referring to a tool. Now, tool activated connect function. So that's the first thing. Activated means so the tool dot activated. So when the tool has been equipped and clicked, that's basically what activated refers to. So when this has happened, then we want to Titan Shift, and let's do that. Script remote, Titan remote, file server, Titan Shift. There we go. Now, let's go inside of the server script, and let's do script parent, Titan remote, on server event, connect function. There we go. So basically, we are file servering this remote event right here with this argument. This argument tells the remote script right here what to do. And this right here, so script parent Titan remote on server event. This is basically an event which reacts to this file server, and it receives at least two arguments in this case. The first argument is the player who has file servered, and the player is of course the possessor of this local script, which is of course our player, okay? And the player is automatically passed for this file server, so you do not have to write something like player, you know? So player is automatically passed, and a second argument right here is this one. We can also have a third, fourth, fifth, whatsoever argument when we add more arguments after this Titan Shift text, so something like that, for example, but in our case, we're not doing that, so that's it. Player and what. And what refers to the task, so Titan Shift, then. There we go. So, if the task is to Titan Shift, then we're going to do the following. So, since we haven't added some kind of check right here, which checks whether the Titan Shift has already been applied or not, we should do that right here. So, if... Wait, we first of all should define some variables. So the first one is going to be the character. Workspace. Well, let's just do player character. Now, if character find first child Titan, then so we're going to have some kind of instance inside of our play which is called Titan. Okay, and if that instance is in there, then we know that the player has already turned into a Titan. And else refers to the opposite case, means when there is nothing called Titan inside of the character. And that's basically the case when we want to turn our player into a Titan. Now, we have this knife right here. And we have already added this weld. Now let's move it inside of the replicated storage. Let's also move that head inside of the replicated storage. And yeah, write local knife. That's the first thing what we're going to do. We are going to duplicate this knife right here. Wait for child, knife. Of course, clone it. And we're going to put it inside of the character. And we're going to weld it into the player's hand. So instance.new weld. Character right hand. Port 0 is parent of the weld, and port 1 is the knife itself. Okay, let's see how this is going to look like. Wait, infinite yield possible, okay. That's no problem. So where's the knife? Titan Shift, okay, so there is no knife inside of here. Titan Shift, Titan Shift. Okay, where is the problem? Else if not, character, find first child, Titan. Then we have to describe this case a little bit more. Okay, wait. There is an issue with the Titan client script. I know why, wait. I know why. So, we have just inserted this tool, okay? Make sure that requires handless faults. That's the fix for this problem. Okay, so as you can see, the knife is right here. We now have to rotate it. So C1, C-frame angles, math rat, 90 degrees. Let's see how it is going to be rotated now. Okay, so we have to rotate it once again. So minus 90. And then we have to rotate it down. Math rat. T. So the weld at this point makes the knife able to be attached onto the hand. And this math rat right here, or this whole C-frame angles thing right here, it is responsible to rotate this knife, as you can see. So once I change the values, the knife is just having different positions, you know. So that's just the overall purpose of the C-frame angles. And mathrat basically turns the number inside of that bracket into degrees. And since I was raised with or by using that unit, I just prefer using degrees instead of radians, I think was the other unit, which is used in America or something like that. I'm not sure, man. Oh, come on, I just have to experiment around a lot to find the correct angle. Come on. Finally, there we go. There we go. So that's the knife position we were looking for. Now we have to create an animation in which the player cuts his hand. Then the player is, is able to become the Titan. So instead of, So insert new animation. So we are creating a new animation inside of the character. Let's call this one knife cut animation ID. ROBLOX set ID. So we have to create an animation, of course. Then L for loader, character, humanoid, animator, load animation, and then L play. There we go. Now the animation is being played. L playing. Wait, I think that this is actually a thing. I'm not sure. Not playing, but stopped. Okay, so after that animation is finished, we want to start the whole Titan shifting process, And this consists of having some cool camera effects, to having some cool particles, to having some cool other effects, and then to becoming the Titan actually later on. Okay. Now let's move on with creating the animation first of all. So we have this dummy right here. No, wait, let's use this one. Apply this animation and editor plugin to this one. Now let's create this knife cutting animation. So as you guys know, the knife is positioned at the right hand of this dummy. So let's move this left arm a little bit. Then like this. Okay, so this animation looks awful, but, well, it is better than nothing. So let's pretend that this is a pretty cool animation that you want to use it. So set the animation priority to movement. And also, So go to those 3 dots and then do that. And also hit publish to ROBLOX when you're done. Okay, submit, copy the ID. And this part is actually important. So if you're only using the model, then you'll have to replace the animation ID with your own animation. Otherwise, this is not going to work out. And let's see how this looks like. Okay. Now, we should like focus on the shifting process, so how to animate that one, and we're going to create a pretty cool animation for that. So we are going to have a lot of camera movements, but also some effects, you know. Okay, so first thing I would like to do is that I would like to create a part. Okay, so let me create those lines right here, which indicate that a comment basically starts, but I'm going to use that lines to separate this code above from the rest now. And this one, so we're going to create a part, and this part is going to be our camera part. So cam Titan shift cam part, and let's put this one sort of the camera character actually, and not in sort of the workspace. Make sure that it is anchored. Make sure that can collide is false, and C frame. So set the C frame basically. Yeah, the position. Okay, the position to character humanoid root parts C frame. So we are using our humanoid root part C frame as a base, multiplied with another C frame, and this C frame right here, it is going to make the part. So let me just demonstrate you my idea. So when we use this move, okay, so I'm gonna cut myself, and then we want this part right here to be somewhere up here. You know why? So something like that, okay? And you know why? Because we want to create this cool shifting effect, and you know that Titans are huge. And by zooming out, we're going to emphasize the extent of this effect, and then the extent of the Titan. So that was basically my idea. Let's do it like this. Let's see what happens. Okay, basically something like that. Well, this could be fine. Let's just keep it as it is. So, remote, no, script parent, Titan remote, fire client, player, cam effects. Now, this right here is important as well. So we have now created this camera part, okay? But we are unable to adjust the player's camera from this server script right here. Therefore, we have to fire client back to this Titan client script. So basically, we are referring to the remote, then applying this fire client, which is somehow the opposite of fire server. So we are now transmitting information to the client. And this client right here, once it has received this information and the information that it is supposed to create some camera effects, then the client will adjust the camera's position to whatever this part's position is to create this cool perspective from above, which, as I've said, emphasizes the effects. And then also it is going to create some kind of camera shake. So that's the overall idea of this fire client right here. So script parent Titan remote, no, script wait, Titan remote, there we go, on client event connect function, there we go. Now the first argument is not our player, but it is this argument right here. Okay, so you can leave the player out. So this is the first argument. If what is cam effects, then we want to continue, okay? And what happens now is that we are going to refer to the camera first of all. After that, we can also, pass this camera part as a second instance. So cam part, so that we have it right here. So we have the camera right here. Now, camera type, scriptable. So what this camera type basically does is that it determines, yeah, the way on how you're able to interact with the camera. So how you're able to move the camera around, and scriptable prevents you from moving the camera around. So your camera is freeze, let's say, and you're unable to move it. Okay, so that's all about camera type. Now let's create a tween. And I've already explained tweens in, well, many of my videos. But let me do it once again. So if we speak of an instance, then it has some certain properties, okay? And if you want those properties to change, let's say that you have a block. And the block in its current state, okay? Keep that in mind, current state, so state 1, is that it is visible. So transparency equals 0. Now, you have a goal. You want that part to be invisible, means transparency 1. Means we are speaking of a second state. Now, we have two states. So the current state and the goal state, let's say. And instead of changing the transparency to 1 right away, we can use tweening. There are also other methods which do the same as tweening, but tweening is the best one. So tweening basically turns our instance from state 1 to state 2 with a transition, so that it actually fades to, yeah, to the transparency, to being invisible. Now, of course, speaking of our example, now we have to refer to the tween service, and then we have to use this create function, and the first argument is always the instance which you want to tween, which is the camera in this case, because I haven't explained why I want to use that tweening. So I want to use that tweening because I want the camera to have a smooth transition to from where it is currently, means somewhere around the player, to the camera part. Okay, so the first instance, the first argument is the instance we want to tween. The second one can be considered as settings, and the first argument of tween_info.new is the time which it takes to finish that tween. Let's use 1 second. The second argument is the easing style, which is going to be linear. The third argument is going to be easing direction, which is going to be out. Okay? And there are some more arguments, but we are not going to consider them because they are not interesting for us. Okay. Now, the third argument of this whole create function defines the goal, the state goal, the goal state. You know, so the final state you want to achieve. And we have to use those curly brackets to define how the property should look like. So we want the C frame to be at the cam parts C frame. That's basically what we want to achieve. Now, after we have done all of these, we have to play the tween. So tween, play. There we go. Now we can play this whole game, or test out the whole game, and see how it looks like. Titan remote is not a valid member. Okay, so I was expecting that. So we are literally speaking of a local script. So instead of having titan.remote, just use script wait for child titan remote. Because local scripts tend to load a little bit too fast, and they're trying to access instances which are non-existent yet, you know. Okay, so now we are unable to see anything. Okay. So, C-frame, angles, math rat, 45. Let's see how this influences the C-frame. So you guys have seen the problem. The problem was that, as you can see, the camera was like just looking in front, but we have to look a little bit more down. And that was the issue, you know. Therefore, we have to play around with the rotation at this point, as you can see. So, C-frame angles, we are basically playing around with the angles. Okay. Wrong as well. Okay, so this is actually the correct axis, but the wrong angle. So instead of having math.rat45, we have to have it negatively. So like this. Perfect. Now, we can move on with the camera shaking. So I'm going to inspire myself from this wall breaker camera shake I have created in like my first giveaway episode. So what we are going to do is that we are going to copy this. I'm going to explain it, so do not worry. Now, character. So workspace, wait for child, game, players, local player name. Okay. Wait, it is already at math random. Wait, I'm just gonna try out something at that point, and I'm going to explain it later on, so do not worry. Wait. Okay, literally nothing happened. Yeah, nothing happened, guys. Wait. Wait. Okay, so why is nothing happening? Let's first of all get this straight, so... Why isn't anything happening? So... I fired cam shake. Yeah, so the camera is basically shaking, but... Okay, wait, so that's weird. That is weird. Okay, funny thing. It'll probably work this way. Okay, doesn't work as well. It's... Wait. Well, I'm pretty curious about this. I'm gonna pause the video, I think, and then I'm gonna come back when I've made it work. So, the problem is that the humanoid offset is not changing. So the camera offset isn't changing. That is weird, but this could be because the camera type is set to scriptable, you know? So this could be a possible reason for that. But I don't know. Let me not set it to scriptable. Let's see what happens then. Now it works. Now it works. Well, I'm honest with you. I don't know how to fix that at that point. So let's just leave the camera shaking. And let's do it this way. So let's go back inside of our script right here. Let's make sure that our camera part right here is transparent. And let's add some effects. So some flashing parts whatsoever. So first thing is that I'm going to add some kind of ring. Some kind of shockwave. I know that I could do one potentially in Blender, but I'm going to use ROBLOX now because I'm too lazy, I'm honest with you. So So I'm going to use solid modeling. I don't know if any one of you knows what that is, because that was pretty common back then in, well, 2015, 16, whatsoever. So around that time, many people today use Blender. But Blender wasn't that common back then. So I barely knew people who used Blender. I basically knew no one who used Blender, to be honest. Blender and other modeling programs. So ROBLOX development has just advanced so much over the past years. It is actually incredible. So we are going to have those kind of shockwaves right here, where we have this sphere which just expands, and we have the shockwave which expands as well. Wait, I've just deleted. Wait, we'll need this one. So shockwave, make sure that it is anchored and can collide as faults. Okay, so local S1 game get service replicated storage shockwave clone. Now, before we do that, we should create that sphere. So instance new part workspace X brick color new yellow X material neon X sway. Well, I'm not sure about size, to be honest, but anchor true. X can collide faults, and X C frame equals char or C humanoid root. Wait, char humanoid root part C frame, exactly. Now we're going to work with tweening now as well, so we are going to make them increase heavily. Now, also regarding our first shockwave right here, do the same. Let's see how this looks like in combination. Yeah, we have a problem at that point because we have to add a little weight right here. So weight 1. And we have to change the shape of this to a ball. Okay. Now T, game get service, tween service, create. So I've already explained what the tween service is about. So I'm just gonna over exaggerate regarding the size. I'm going to do the same for our S1 right here, S1. So, and this one, well, could actually be a little bit more difficult because S1 size, wait. What is the current size? So do things like this work? I'm not sure. Let's just try it out. Let's see if it works. Not that one. Expects a number for time. Then do it this way. So 0, 100, 0. Do it this way then. Make sure that cast shadow is disabled, and make sure that cast shadow for this one is disabled as well. Wait. Also, wait. I'm a little confused now. We didn't even have to do that because the error right here was regarding this. So we were supposed to add a time to wait. Wait, what happened to my character? So we were supposed to add a wait time, but I just filled in, or I just gave an instance instead. Oh. Yeah. Wait, so that's a little bit too fast. Wait. That's right, 2 seconds. Also, the sizes are too big. They are way too big. So 30, 30, 30, 30, and let's see how these will do. Yeah, so the shockwave is a little bit insane at that point. Let's double the size of the shockwave. Where's the shockwave? Wait. Where is the shockwave? Shockwave is missing. Okay, so I haven't even parented the shockwave to the workspace. That's the reason why. So, but I also have to increase the size because 30 is just too small. Wait, let's see how this will do. No, come on. Ah, come on, let's just forget about the shockwave then. Okay, come on. Transparency 1. And let's see what this will do. Okay. So, that's totally fine. Of course, we can add some pretty cool effects, but, well, it is up to you at that point. Now, what we have to do is that we have to create the transition from our player to the Titan. So how is this going to work? Now, let's see how this will work. So luckily, we have those instances right here. Perfect. But the problem is with those mesh parts. Problem is with those mesh parts. Wait. Okay, yeah, so that's actually a problem. But we are going to solve that problem, so it doesn't matter. So move this dummy instead of the replicated storage, okay? Because I'm not going to explain you what to do. So, what we are going to do now is that we are going to turn this character right here to a Titan. So where is the difference, first of all? So we have this character. This character is, yeah, fairly small. Now, we have to change the character's size, first of all. In order to change the size, we can just play around with those instances right here. So height scale, well, we can change it to 100 if you want to. Change it to 5, whatsoever. Okay, so this one is up to you. Just make sure that the changes right here match to each other. So if you change the height, you should not keep the depth at 1. Make it 2, make it 5 or something like that, or 3 or 2 or whatsoever, okay? Just make sure that they fit to each other and then it should be fine. Now, one more thing we'll have a problem with is when people have packages as I do. As you can see, I have, so this is not a shirt, this is a package, means it is attached to this mesh ID. Now if I get rid of that mesh ID, then you'll see how this model right here changes. And we somehow need to, yeah, work with that. So how are we able to get around this? Well, let me give you a possible solution. So we're going to create a loop inside of our character, which is going to loop through every single body part right here. And when it loops through every single body part, we're going to loop through, well, maybe not loop through, but we are going to look for the same part instead of this dummy right here. And this dummy has the perfect mesh parts to become a Titan. So we are, let's say, let's pretend that we're currently looping through my character and we are at the left lower arm. Now, we're going to look for a left lower arm inside of this dummy's character model. And we are going to take the left lower arm's mesh ID and just replace it with ours. And that's the idea. That's the plan for all of the other body parts right here. So that's basically my idea to get around this. Okay, so okay, chart, humanoid, body height scale, I think. Let's make it 5. Body with scale. Okay. Let's see how this works out. Body height scale is not a valid number, so how is it named then? Body with scale height scale. It literally is. It literally is. Now let's use weight for child instead. I think that the script. Wait. There is one huge issue. So of course the script mistakes this body height, body depth, body width scale whatsoever as a property of the humanoid, and that is because I have forgot to add this dot value behind of it. So that's basically pretty essential to tell whether it is a property or an instance. Now, body height scale is not a valid member of. Yeah, I think that it was not. It was just head scale. Okay, I get it. So just head scale then. Mesh ID is not a valid member of dummy head. The first requirement is literally that the instance has to be a mesh part. And what does the script do? It literally makes an instance pass, which is not a mesh part. Like, why? Oh, the head is a mesh part as well. Since when? Wait. Mesh ID is not a valid member of head. What is this? god, what is this? No, but of course I'm being sarcastic at that point, but how is the mesh ID not a valid member? Wait, it is because I get it, I get it. It is not complaining about the mesh ID inside of our character's head, but about the mesh ID inside of this head right here. So what we gotta do is that we have to get rid of this head, and we have to replace it with a mesh ID type head. So let's see what it. Unable to assign property mesh ID. Script write access is restricted. So I'm unable to. Why? Okay, so I have found a possible solution for our problem. Since we're unable to change our character, we can use another character which represents a Titan. Let's clone this dummy right here. Wait, I have deleted the head. Okay. Wait. That's actually totally fine because let's copy the head. Let's put it inside of our dummy right here. Let's move this dummy. I mean, let's move the head. Wait, but there are still all of those attachments missing for the head. There we go. Wait, let me just give them this color as well. Okay, so this is how our Titan would look like later on. Thing is that, wait, let me just go to this test stand. Let's see what kind of attachments he has. Let me just clone those attachments because I have to, you know, I have to recreate the set. All of the attachments right here. Face attachment, so how's the face attached? Actually, never mind this thing because, wait. So now things are getting complicated. I'm actually not able to redo all of these attachments, but what I'm able to do is that, let me just quickly get rid of this dummy. So now things are becoming very, very complicated probably for you, but, well, that's just the life of a developer. So what we're going to do is, instead of replacing the head completely, we're going to make the actual head invisible. And we're going to apply this new head onto the actual head. I hope that you're able to follow me. So, clone this valid constraint and call this one Titan head. And make sure that the part 0 is the actual head and part 1 is this Titan head. Well, make sure that the actual head is transparent, and there we go. Now this is it. So this is our Titan. Now right click on the humanoid and description. There we go. Also add several int values. So 4 to be exact, I think. Body height scale. Body width scale and body depth scale. And then the head scale here. And make sure that all of them are set to 1. Now let's play this thing. Also make sure that all of those components right here are not anchored. So let's play this game and let's try out something. So this is our Titan. Let me try to change these. It's right here. Okay, so why isn't this changing? Come on, why? Literally nothing is changing. Come on. Okay, wait, so could be that there are several things missing right here. So body proportion scale, and body type scale. So what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to replicate an actual player's character to be able to, scale this dummy right here up in order to be able to wait. In order to just take the model then with its body scale 5 to use it as a template for the Titans. But let's see if this will work out. I'm not too optimistic, to be honest, but let's see. Okay, it does not work. It does not work. Come on. Okay, so instead of losing a lot of time while trying to do it, I have a game, so my Pirates Voyage game, in which we have a character editor, and in that character editor, you're also able to adjust your body sizes, body measurements, And I just took the dummy out of there and just remembered how I was able to recreate the dummy, which is able to change to this one. So instead of having this normal dummy right here, you actually have to use your character model, so your player's character model. Apparently only that one is able to react to the changes of those instances. And that's basically what I was supposed to do. Well, yeah. Now let's scale this head up. Of course, readjust the weld constraint to this dummy's head. Also get rid of this one. Make sure that this head right here is transparent as well and that there is no decal inside. And there we go. So this is our Titan. Make sure that this Titan has no humanoid. Wait. Okay, so get rid of the humanoid, but create this animator. This animation controller, I mean, inside of it. And yeah. Call this one Titan. And make sure that all of the instances right here that can collide as false and that anchor is false as well. And what we are going to do now is that we are going to clone this one inside of our character. Wait, character children. Wait, transparency 1. So we are going to make our and B is a part. So we're going to make our body parts invisible first of all, and then we are going to clone this gear 4, this Titan inside of our character. So do it this way, and then wait, local Titan game get service replicated storage. Wait for child Titan clone Titan parent character local B or W instance.new belt Titan part 0 is the humanoid root part, and part 1 is the Titan's humanoid root part. There we go. Let's check this out. Okay, for some reason, our body parts are not invisible. Instead of having this and, we should have written or. And we also have to get rid of the accessories. Okay, so all the mesh port or part, if b.name is hat, then then for I2 v2 in pairs, get children do if v2 is a equal, then to destroy. Okay, so we are looping through the character, and if we encounter a body part, which is mostly mesh part or part, we turn it transparent. The second thing is that if it is a body part, and especially if it is the head, then we are looping through the head, and we are looking for instances which are decals, because decals are supposed to represent the face of a head. And if it is a decal, then we are destroying the decal, which means we are destroying uh, the the character's face. Now, another case is that we encounter an accessory instead of the character, which is a hat or shades whatsoever. And if we encounter those, then we are destroying them as well, because we do not want our Titan to have a hat or anything like that. Now, two last things. First of all, our Titan is or spawns right there. We have to get rid of that problem. Also, we have no animation, but we should be able to fix that. So, first thing about this position. So Titan C frame char humanoid root part C frame. Also, we should get rid of the knife. Knife destroy. Now about the animation, so this could be a little bit more interesting at that point. C-frame is not a valid member of... Oh my god, come on. Humanoid root part, of course. So the thing regarding the animation is that this could be a little bit more complicated. There we go. We first of all have to revert our camera. That's the first thing we have to do. So how do we revert the camera? Of course, cam C-frame, right, character. So we have to change the wait. Game players, local player. The workspace with child. The camera C-frame to our character simulate root part, I think. So root parts C-frame. But we also have to change the camera type to fixed, I think. I think it was fixed. No, it is custom. It is custom. Okay. So, how do we replicate the animations? So let's try to do that. So we first of all have to see what kind of animations our character does. So let's try to do that, and then we have to replicate those onto our onto our Titan. So let's play again. And let's go inside of here. So it's animator. So there has to be some kind of event which sees when a new animation is being played. Okay, so this is fairly easy. So what we can do is that let's go inside of here. So let's stop this. And character, humanoid, animator, animation plate, connect function. So there is this event which basically recognizes when an animation is played, and it returns an animation track. Okay, so when a new animation is played, then we can make the Titan play that animation as well. So Titan, humanoid, animator. Wait, the Titan has no humanoid. Animation controller. Load animation. Track. Animation. Play. Let's see how this is going to turn out. Actually, looks fine. The thing is that it is not able to do any idling animation. Is there like some kind of animation stopped? Because that would be great. Okay, so copy this code. Let me explain it to you first of all. So when the character's animator plays a new animation, we are receiving that track. Okay, so this animation track, and this animation track is basically the loaded version of the animation, and we are going to create a new variable which is going to be the loaded animation track for our Titan. So Titan animation controller, which is responsible to load the animation. So we are loading an animation for that animation controller, and that animation is going to be the tracks animation. And the tracks animation is the animation our character is currently playing, which can be an idling animation, a walking animation, whatsoever. And then we are going to make that loader, which loads the character's animation play for Titan. And once that track stops for the character, means the idling animation or the walking animation for a character stops, then we're going to stop it for our Titan as well. So we are stopping the loader at that point. And this works totally fine. So there is a short delay in between the animations probably, but as you can see, I'm walking, I'm idling, I'm walking, I'm idling, and I'm jumping. So there is a small delay, but I think that this should be fine, to be honest. And yeah, so this is basically one way to create a Titan shifting system. There are, of course, many optimizations you could make. So you could add new particles to it. I'm honest with you. The transition from human to Titan can be optimized way more with the correct particles, with the correct meshes whatsoever. You can also optimize the delay in between those animations. That's one optimization possibility as well. And we will hopefully add some attacks in the coming episodes of the series, guys. So with that being said, leave a like, subscribe, share this video to all of your friends, leave me feedback in the comment section, guys. Take care and see you in the next video. Also, thank you guys for watching.